What do you see when you see me? Is it the story of a toddler, eyes wide and chocolate brown like her skin, playing with dolls that look nothing like her, unaware of the magic within her fingertips, her fate of poetry or fashion or dance, not knowing her call to power has been placed in her own hands, that her legacy is written in God's plan, revealed only through her family's demands. What do you see when you see her? Maybe it's the awkward scheme of a tween caught in life's game, not knowing who or what you want to be, but still choosing not to believe that putting another black girl down somehow gives you gains. She still dreams.
Oh, what? Bro.
Someday she'll see her reflection in the mirror and want to stay. She prays for that day, she can't wait. She sees glimpses of this beauty in the boy she loves, holds him up to the sun and then holds him close. His smile sends fire down her arms, her cheeks up in flames. She cannot understand how he leads her to feel this way.
Arms hurt like a can't. I'm tired of this, bro. I need to get my hair done,
But someday she'll learn that her beauty makes him feel the same way. Now I know why you can't mistake the maze for the trees, why they can't look in my eyes unless they ask me, say pretty please. I've spent years lost in this forest between Goddess and Grinch, but my beauty has finally laid a trail of breadcrumbs to this place I call home. My beauty has been my surest friend all along.
It's been a minute. It's good to see you. All right, so my name is Sheena McCullers. I am originally from Toledo, Ohio, so not too far from Ann Arbor. I moved to Ann Arbor back maybe 3 years ago, and I followed my husband. He got into a PhD program over at Ross, and we packed up our family from living in Brooklyn and shifted environments and culture to be here. And it has been a very interesting adjustment and experience. Opening a beauty supply store was not on my bingo card at all for any year ever. Beauty is not new to me, black beauty and hair and all of that good stuff. I've lived it my whole life. I just never thought that I would open a business. The origin story is truly once I followed my spouse here and was, I don't want to say bored out of my mind in Ann Arbor, but kind of bored. I was trying to think through how I was going to build community here when I didn't see a lot of people who looked like me. At the same time, I was having an issue where I needed products for my textured hair. My son needed products, he has locks, and I didn't feel as comfortable as I wanted going to the beauty supply stores that are in this area. So I would either shop on Amazon or I would wait until I needed to travel back to New York. I wanted a space in my neighborhood where I could go feel safe and shop. I happened to be walking in this downtown Ann Arbor area, and I was with my husband and we talked a little bit about just the types of businesses that exist here. I said, it would be really nice if there was a beauty supply store here because there's not one close by to downtown Ann Arbor. We looked at some space and, God just kind of kept aligning the steps. And before I knew it, I had keys to this space and I was like, oh my God. The name Della's came because I thought about this space and like what we needed here. When I thought about this space, I said, okay, I want it to be a space where people who look like me can come in here, feel safe, not judged, not followed around, and could, search for the things that they needed, but also find things that they wanted and build community at the same time. And I said, well, which spaces kind of like feel like that? I'm like, oh, it feels like an auntie's living room. Like I want people to come into Della's and feel like they're in their favorite auntie's living room. I wanted it to smell good. I wanted the music to always be great. And that's, where I headed in the direction with the name. And so I thought about some, I guess, classic auntie, like black auntie names. And I had a list. Don't ask me what the other names were because I don't remember. I shared the names with some friends across the U.S. cities and said, hey, here's what I want to do. Here's what I'm going for. Which name represents the feeling of the space that I want to create? And like, hands down, everyone selected Della's, which I'm pretty grateful for because it's really catchy. People remember it. It does sound like a black auntie's name. This may sound not as radical as it is, but Della's is a safe space for so many people in this community, especially at the University of Michigan community, students, faculty members, staff members. It's a safe space just because we exist, right? Just even having a space where you can go in and see another black face, we just can't underestimate how important that is in this city. There's nothing like this that exists that is truly by us and for us. And so just by existing, it's a safe space for us. If there are any students on campus who have not visited Della's, where you at? Where you been? If people haven't been by, just know that we're here. We're on State Street. We're on the second floor. And we just want to continue to meet people. We want to continue to grow. And we also want to stay here.
Hi, my name is Bria, and I'm answering the question, what makes me feel beautiful? Puffy, like big hair, like hair that's very marinated. Also, like wearing a lot of accessories. I love accessories, so rings, bracelets, just like excessive or like maximized accessories are my fave.
Okay. Get into the fit, get into the fit.
When my locks just look like, they've been through it a little bit.
I feel the most beautiful when I'm comfortable with myself, like when I have that level of comfort. When my hair is a certain way, I usually feel really cute. I have my little bust down, my curls and everything. But like how my hairstyle is today, this is one of the days I genuinely feel the most beautiful. There's so much power that we hold within our hairstyle, within the curves of our face, not just the curves of our body. When I wear my jewelry, I feel so beautiful.
We black people always strive to be excellent, and we are excellent in our own bodies and feel amazing in our own skin, and it's our job to showcase that to the world.
That's what I like. Okay, thank you.
In all of my feelings, love lingers below the surface, like carbon being at the root of all purpose. My love is elemental, eternal. I realized that I don't think I've forgiven a single thing in my entire life. Forgiveness felt like a get out of jail for free card, or you can do me card whatever way you like, no repercussions. Actions always are louder than words for me, so
My name is Chanel Wilson.
My name is Cameron Herbert.
My name is Kayla.
Oh, my name's Devin.
I'm Leslie.
I'm Princess.
My name is Lauren.
Hey everybody, my name is Brett.
I'm David.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Devin.
April 20th of 2022.
Yes, so we were freshmen, but like in our second semester freshman year.
Me and Devin have known each other since middle school. Then we met Leslie in high school. And then now we're all together in college. We met freshman
I think I met you elementary.
We knew each other since elementary school, actually.
But I feel like we didn't like until like high school, college. So
I've known Kev since high school, but like we've all like been like a friend group for like a year and a half.
About 5 years, you know.
Yeah. No, we started dating in January. It feels like that though.
We were friends for we
So
basically been here 2 years.
when you do the math on it.
was it a Nesby game night our freshman year?
Some game night.
Yeah, it was in like Trotters' basement, and we were playing Cards Against Humanity. And we were like, wow, like, this is so fun. Like, let's keep it going. So we went to West Quad, and we basically played Cards Against Humanity and just hung out until like 4 in the morning. On like a Friday night. And then we tried to go get food, and it was just like this whole situation. It was following us, so we were just bonded, I guess.
And me and David specifically like met first day of summer break. Actually, it was really our move-in day, and we were all sitting at the table in the dining hall in East Quad, and we just got to like talking about life, getting to know each other and stuff, and it was really, really a great experience.
Yeah, I met him, and then I met Kevin probably like around the first weeks of Bridge. I don't really remember Kevin like having like a first interaction for real, but it was just like he was always around. You know, he's always been around ever since then. You know, it's like my right hand.
They've always been cool people, fun people to be around. And I was like, these my guys, so.
We had this art class together. It was in the art basement of the dorm, and like, I don't know, you know, we were still masked up, so like I personally wasn't looking for nothing serious like at all. Over our, was it spring break?
Yeah, it was over spring break.
Yeah, spring break, he DM'd me on Instagram. And it wasn't like anything crazy. Like
We met on a Friday in December of my junior year, her sophomore year. No, my sophomore year, her freshman year. And then the following week, we had a mutual friend do a surprise birthday party. And I just remember we talked the entire night. And I feel like that was the start of a really, really slow burn.
Dang, babe.
I mean, last night was fun.
that's not the recent memory.
New York was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. I feel like traveling to the airport with them and like going on our first big girl trip. Like it was.
We made it at the group chat.
Oh, yeah.
Planning in like what, an hour or something? The tickets, the hotel was done in like an hour on FaceTime.
That was record time.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
All those that quality time that we spent together at the end of the day was like really important to me, and something that we try to continue to do into the future too.
Yeah, it helps now that we do a lot of the same things. Like if you saw it on paper, you're like, okay.
We've slowly like meshed together like our and it's been pretty fun. So yeah.
But I will say like my favorite thing that we do is like watch movies. Like I feel like that's my love language. Like there's so many movies he has not seen, like classic movies. Yeah. And like I just love like, have you seen this? And I already know the answer.
No.
But like
I haven't seen this.
But like just putting a movie on that like watch him get excited.
Yeah, because I always like be like, I don't know if I want to watch that, like, or like I don't know if that's gonna be any good, and then I end up like, oh my god, like super invested within like 20 minutes. So yeah, she has very good taste.
I think for me, it's when I visited her in Chicago this summer.
Oh, yeah.
I was in New York, she was in Chicago. And before visiting her in Chicago, I wasn't a fan of Chicago at all. Mm-hmm. But after just spending 3 days there with her, it was my favorite city in the world. Yeah, it was so dope. Like the food, Chicago downtown at night, went to museums. We'd just be like watching TV. Everything was just better with her there.
Mine is probably the pie chart.
Pie chart? Pie chart.
I don't know. I don't think I can pinpoint like a favorite one. Like every memory that we all made together has been so special, and it's really hard to like try to compare, you know what I'm saying, each memory to each other, because like we're just doing a bunch of different stuff all the time. So, you know, every time it's something new, something unique.
I low-key, my freshman self, I think she would be really amazed at like who I am now, like, and not even like any like crazy, like not in accomplishments wise, just like feel like with him, I take more risk, and I don't know if he's just like my cushion or that like we do it together, but like I don't know, I feel like I'm more of like a risk taker, and those risks have like got me, whether it's opportunities or like more friendships or just like trying something new. Like I like trying new things for the most part, because I wasn't that type of person before, so I think I've grown in that way.
I'm a very sadly impatient person for the most part. I like to be on time to everything, and if I'm not on time, I get upset. It's something that I'm still trying to work on, but basically she's really taught me how to to slow down and enjoy life and just appreciate the beauty in every moment.
If it wasn't for them, I would have been transferred home. I would have been out of here. I think also growing up, I grew up with a lot of men around, and so meeting them was oh my god. I just realized how valuable it is to have that relation on that level between us of oh my god, my girls. But yeah, they've been keeping me here, they've been keeping me going. It's been some rough times, and then we just hit a little movie night, and then my life is better.
It's worth living. It's just nice to be unconditionally loved by somebody who just chooses to accept me, and each other for who we are and everything that we bring to the table. Very similar or different experiences. I think it's just nice to come together.
In my personal experience, being somebody that's 450 miles away from home, it's been really, really important for me to just have a second family in a sense, and us being friends for so long, it feels like they're not just my friends, they feel like my brothers for real.
We try to be very thoughtful and intentional about the time that we have together, and set boundaries as far as how many days we get to see each other and sleep over, because at the end of the day we're both students and involved in a lot of different things on campus. So we set dates. Our days are usually Thursdays and Fridays, sometimes Saturdays and Sundays, but during the week we tend to not see each other as much. I think it's important that we allocate time to yearn for one another and to miss each other. Different folks. What is it?
Strokes for different.
Yeah, there we go. So, but what we like to do is just to be intentional about the time we have together, but then also be intentional about spending time apart from one another to allow I need him to miss me. Okay?
Yeah.
True love is to know I deserve it even when they showed they couldn't deliver. Loving me despite implicit messages that I shouldn't consider a possibility that I exist in a world that I should be cared about. No one knows how to love me like I love me.
Will you be my muse? Will you be the words to my song, the rhythm to my poetry, the flash to my camera, the clay to my pottery, the theory to my literature, the monologue to my play, the ballad to my musical, the paint to my canvas, the movement to my dance? Will you allow your smile to inspire sonnets, your eyes to inspire prints and paintings, your hands inspire buildings and sculpture, your breath to inspire the beat that overtakes my drum? Will you allow your colloquialisms to become the lyrics to my song that I play on a loop all day long alongside the instrumentals created from you humming down the street? To me, you are art, one of a kind, no carbon copies allow. You are divine, exquisite, pure, and undeniably irreplaceable. You are the one and only muse, and the reason I do this thing called art.
Before we get into our intermission, Christian, I'll let you give your introduction, or do you want me to tell you the name of the poem? Oh, whoa. Hey, listen. He asked all shy y'all, listen to this poetry. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Christian. I have to find my poem because I really wasn't expecting to go this early, but normally I write poetry that's like meant to be like read on a page, but I decided to like venture out a little bit and write some more like spoken word stuff. So today I have a piece for you called Cavities. Got me feeling like I ain't worth a damn and it's only 6 a.m.
You, black girl carved in white, stealing the color of your oppressor. Binging on thoughts and prayers of jealousy and envy of who she thought she was supposed to be.
Green dollar deception. The solution is too expensive.
Never change, black girl. Just fly towards the sun that warms your flesh. Can't melt it like wax, can't shrivel it like fruit. You, black girl, nothing to carry on your back. Go everywhere, do everything. Drown in flowers, turn your eyes to the gods and ask.
Sankofa. Return to the ways we know are better.
Gaining self-confidence from the freedom, avoiding her parents' home because it didn't feel like her own. When she got older, she told her mom for the first time to shut the fuck up. In her head, but outside she told her to listen, please, because this is what you made. Body shamed me.
And it's hard to believe that I still miss you. It's hard to believe that love isn't Romeo and Juliet. This vendetta puts accountants in debt, makes missing calls a threat, leaning on the wall, smoking cigarettes, sleeping on the couches, become middle-aged slouches. Where has our consciousness gone?
You, black girl, wealth of the world, skin like oil, rare, priceless, untouchable, hair like vines, coarse, reaching towards the sun, unbreakable. Do nothing, do everything, just do it for you, black girl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is David Michael. I'm a fourth-year undergraduate student in music education. I started out as a saxophonist, and then I switched to bassoon, which is now what I play. I'm a chamber musician, so I play in a wind quintet, 5 members. We do a lot of advocacy with LGBT composers and different styles of chamber music. And right now I'm a student teacher at Ann Arbor STEAM at Northside. I teach middle school, elementary school. I think my favorite part about being a Black musician in particular is coming together, and it's a different type of letting your guard down when you're surrounded by community and creating in that space than maybe the higher stakes or the pressure of the university environment. Art is my passion, music is my passion. But being at a university and like just going and going and going all the time, it starts to feel less like a passion and more like work, of course. And so I think when I'm able to just like surround myself with like Black artistry and Black musicians, that is moving away from any type of pressure, any type of anxiety that you might attach with music, and it just more so feels like a home away from home. And coming to the university, like being at a predominantly white institution, and having the music school also reflecting the university at large, it's almost disheartening to get used to the feeling of walking into a classroom day one and like realizing that you're the only Black student in a class, or you're maybe one of like 2 people in your major that are Black. When I came in as a freshman, I hadn't taken private lessons. I didn't own my own instrument. I still currently use my high school's instrument. I remember being in some lessons, and a professor like said, you know, like this is a issue that like you should have fixed in high school. And like when he said that to me, I was like, I didn't study bassoon privately in high school. Like, you know, like this isn't something that I had a teacher to learn how to do. Just a lot of dealing with that kind of imposter syndrome thing. I think my advice to any aspiring musician, any aspiring artist would be take your art and like just reach out your hand to connect to as many people as you can. Like don't shy away from yourself, really. Don't shy away from asking for more. Don't shy away from really looking for more opportunities, because they're always out there. But I think my advice would be the world is yours. The world is your oyster. It is everything. There's everything you could possibly imagine here. And so I think as an artist, just go imagine it and it shall be yours.
We've learned over the years that when we work together, we cannot fail. That the tales of triumph and preparation and resilience and hard work are the best ways to avoid the challenges, the hiccups of the brave folks that came before us. I hope that future generations will continue to see it through, because each student has contributed to this beautiful legacy of Black excellence, Black scholarship, Black professionalism, and Black academia.
For a lot of people, rightly so, college is just a way to get to a place where they can better support themselves and their families.
Like, just regarding Black people, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to excel because, for one, being in a marginalized, underrepresented community, you have this pressure to go back home and do something for them, you know, perform, just be better for your people.
But that becomes difficult when you start investigating the ways in which you make a lot of money.
I also feel like a lot of Black people in college might think that the only way to excel as a Black person is to do what Black people don't normally do, seek higher education or get more opportunities or advance in any kind of field.
When I was applying, I was looking up the racial demographic, specifically within the engineering program. And when I found that it was less than 3%, I was a little off-put.
Looked around, I'm the only Black person in there.
So there's not necessarily a lot of space to feel like you belong.
Because you represent your community, like physically, everywhere you go, you can't really run from your color. So it's kind of like that, just having to be a present body in a space that's not necessarily made for you when it should be.
If I'm in a classroom, I have to make sure that I'm talking to the professor, being more engaged than everybody else, like doing what I have to do like 10 times more than someone else would have to. Just to kind of like even out that playing field a little bit more as well, and just to not like sink to the back.
Describe a time you felt isolated in class.
Most of the time when I'm in class, it'll be in a lecture, unless it's a CSP section. They used to call it the Colored Students Program. It's actually the Comprehensive Studies Program, but there are a surprising amount of white people in CSP sections too.
I really think it's important to like find people that look like you. So building that community, especially in academia.
The more people that we have in those spaces, the better.
I think it took a while to actually build up on that confidence and just not being able to see as many people that are of my identity in the role. I kind of had to create that role myself.
So I think spaces like these with fellow Black people kind of relieve that pressure. And you also feel like you're in a space where you can advance without having to work, if that makes sense. Like being around people that better you just naturally. So you don't have to overexert yourself to prove that you're good enough to be here just because you're Black.
It's not just a monolith of students and our experiences, but the experiences of all of us and how do we continue to contribute to that. And so you have to build those relationships with staff and faculty to be able to advance our mission. It's just not a silo of Black Student Union, but the entire Black Umich community, and that involves teachers, faculty, and staff.
My inspiration for teaching comes from my family in a large way. I am from a family of Black educators, mostly public school teachers on the south side of Chicago. So my mom was a teacher, my aunts and uncles were teachers. Teaching at the college level came to me when I was in my graduate study. So both my master's and my PhD are in educational policy studies, and I was studying at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And that's when I first started to learn about intergroup dialogue and what that was. And I was a graduate assistant at the time, and learning what this pedagogy is and then how to facilitate it, that gave me a way into teaching at the university level that I didn't think was there.
I very much enjoy interacting with students. My soul is fed by the exchange of ideas, and I think of education as growth, and so it's an opportunity to continually grow.
I think some of the most important parts of my job are helping students uncover and strengthen their ability to think critically and their ability to get curious about the world. And I say uncover and strengthen because we all have those skills. I think we are interacting in spaces that would rather not have us be critical thinkers and not have us get curious about the world around us and why things are the way they are, because that also stops us from imagining the ways that things could be different.
How has your political voice evolved since being at Michigan?
I learned that it's okay to have strong opinions and to share those opinions, because even if in the moment you feel like you're the only one, a lot of the times you voicing that, you're giving a voice to people who maybe didn't feel comfortable.
What does BSU mean to you, and how do you personally feel like you contribute to it at large?
I really spent like my first year going from my dorm room to class, back to my dorm room. And I think a lot of people feel that way, particularly just going to an institution like this, very academic rigorous. And so just to find community and being able to be here at Trotter. Occupy Trotter was one of the biggest things in my first year. How do we continue to create community for people? How do I make sure that the people around me feel safe, included, and feel like they're valued in a place where it can sometimes feel like they're not valued? And so I really try to maintain and continue to add to that community.
Because I love walking into a space where people feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel free to be however, to be loud, to be happy, to be angry, to be sad.
And we're building our own community and what we want to see in the world, and so I think that that's really powerful.
When I first got here, it meant everything to me because that's how I felt comfortable. That's how I got involved into the whole college community space. So when I think college, when I think Michigan, I think Black Umich.
It definitely feels like home after home. And I love everybody that I've met here. When I graduate, I definitely plan on staying connected and trying to connect with the younger folks that come in after me and keep building that community after I leave.
It's really about the culmination of all the people that I meet, all the experiences that I have, every organization that I've ever been a part of, every meeting that I've ever been to. I've learned from people, I've met people, and I've been able to connect with people. And so really what BSU and the Black Umich community has given to me is just everything that I am right now. Every interaction that I've ever had pours into me more, and so I've really just been extremely fortunate and grateful for the experience that I've had.
Every time I feel overwhelmed, I just affirm this is nothing I can't do. There's nothing I can't get through. It's possible for me.
What are your educational passions?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I must say that my research, at least, is about the ways that intergroup dialogue programs or programs like it are incorporated into university diversity plans. So intergroup dialogue has been around for some 40 plus years, which predates most spaces' diversity plans.
Black students, keep doing what you're doing, and let's go.
It's this interesting tension. I don't know how to communicate it to the audience of there is struggle that we experience as a Black community, but I feel like as we've been recording and trying to get community engagement and stuff like that, nobody really wants to talk about that really. Our struggle is hidden under all these layers of I don't know, how we relate to each other as a community and stuff like that. We don't have those conversations like we talked about.
Right now I'm taking Chem 130, Gen Chem, a CSP section though. A lot of white people in that class. You would be surprised because it's mainly meant for people of color, mainly Black people. And it kind of felt like the space was tainted. I guess I shouldn't say tainted, but it felt like a space curated for Black students to excel. And I know a lot of Black students that didn't get in the CSP section because it was waitlisted, and there are a whole bunch of white people in there. Also, I'm taking Chem 125, which is the Gen Chem lab, and I'm taking that class with my friend, another Black student. We went to lab the first day, and then after lab, we were outside, and we have lab partners, assigned lab partners. And after the lab, he said, "We're never going to be lab partners." And I'm like, "Why would you say that?" And he said, "We're the only 2 Black students in class. They're not gonna do that." And I realized, yeah, I guess we are.
Have you had any struggles with teaching at a PWI, and if so, what?
I don't think that I've had too many struggles with teaching at a PWI. Now, saying that, I know that such struggles and difficulties do arise for many of us, so I don't want to minimize the truth that those struggles arise, but I luckily have not had to face many struggles in teaching here.
Yeah, I definitely faced challenges being at a PWI. I think the biggest one is that, there's a presumption that I'm not really supposed to be here. And I mean that in a sort of large philosophical way, but very literally when I started here, I was in my early 30s. For most people, I presented or seemed a lot younger than that, and I'm Black and I'm a woman. So it makes sense, sadly, that lots of people just, didn't think that I was here to do the job that I'm here to do. That wasn't the case with my colleagues, but I just remember, I remember getting like my first Michigan sweatshirt and thinking, I cannot wear this on days that I need to go to campus to teach because people are gonna think that I'm a student, and they're gonna mistake me for a student, and that's not necessarily bad to be a student, but I am not one. And I have a particular position on campus, and if you mix that in with me, with my other very visible identities, me being Black and me being a woman, that assumption can lead to other assumptions or people not taking me seriously.
When I just remember when me and Cierra were in there trying to get people to talk about like struggles, they were not. I don't think it was like the idea of like being candid about what they feel. I think the idea of them being recorded is what's like, it's just staying on a on that platform for like the duration of their lives. I think that's what they were like kind of nervous about, because a lot of times it was like, yeah, I'll talk about it, but like I don't want to be recorded. That was more of the issue than it was like expressing how they felt.
So after the election, we had our community conversation that was just sort of breaking that down, checking in with people about how they feel, and trying to like get people ready for things that could possibly change. Like, obviously there's been a ton of executive orders and we didn't really know what that would look like, but we knew that like Trump had promised a lot of things and said he was going to do a lot of things, so we tried to sort of like get information out there about what was going to happen. And I don't know, it's a very hard thing to know how to process, because it feels like new information is coming out every day and things are changing so quickly and so many things are happening that I just thought would like never happen, which is really hard to deal with as a board and as a community.
I was kind of thinking of the funding too, like the scholarships, because I know a lot of students that are out of state that couldn't afford to go here without their scholarships. And it was just apparent how much DEI affected them too. Because like me, I'm in-state, but I'm in Wolverine Pathways, some scholarship program. So DEI funds my whole right to be here. It's kind of like anxiety inducing to feel like your career, your whole life, because this is like a part of the plan. College is just a little cog in the machine. So it's kind of anxiety inducing to feel like your life is hanging on by a thread sometimes just because you can't afford to go to school, which should be free anyway.
A lot of times people think that they're safe because things have been going a certain way. They've come to expect certain things. And it's like really difficult to imagine that that might change. So all these policies, these DEI policies, funding, federal funding for students, getting through college, scholarships, mentorship programs, fellowships, all these things, like Black people especially, are very in danger of losing, and it would really affect us if we did. But I think a lot of times to acknowledge that is scarier than to just sit there and like believe that nothing will change.
Like those things coexist. As Black people, they coexist. Like, oh, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was saying like you can't talk about the Black experience without talking about like struggle and adversity. Like that's like all like hello. Like I don't know. Like why is advocacy so important to you, and particularly in general and specifically at Michigan?
Advocacy and activism are important to me in general and at U of M in particular, out of a sense of responsibility. I feel a sense of responsibility to continue, out of recognition that it's the previous activism and advocacy of previous Black students and faculty and even administrators that have created the spaces that we now occupy when we're here. So the sense of recognizing what has been bestowed to us is part of that sense of responsibility. And also to try to create these opportunities and spaces for future students, faculty, and so forth. So one reason is that out of that sense of responsibility or obligation. But I also find it fulfilling. I find it creative to be engaged in activism or advocacy. I think when we do face those challenges, those struggles and adversities, one of the ways we can overcome them is by being in community with each other, sharing what we're experiencing, supporting each other, and putting pressure on the institution to change in ways that will minimize those struggles, minimize the prospect, the possibilities of those struggles or those difficulties arising. So I think that if we draw on and contribute to the traditions of being together, working together, and at times challenging the university, challenging the institution, I think those are powerful ways to deal with the challenges that we do face.
What's the point, I ask myself, time and time again, when I find myself alone at home the night of each day's end? It's in the dinner I just ate. Many plans for future dates, new plans arising as of late, and everything in between. It's telling sad news to gentle eyes and inner strength recognized, community revitalized, and being heard and feeling seen. It's spending hours on my hair, even when no one seems to care. It's about trial and error, trying again, pushing through terror. Just know the point cannot be found in their compliments or critiques. It's only found within your reach. The point is what makes us unique. It's the rare moment of serenity as life comes at you fast. It's the feeling when you see another Black person in class, the relief of solving problems that you never asked for. That gospel song you grew up hearing finally hitting you at your core because now you know more. It's not doing what you can because you have to. It's doing what you have to because you can. It's taking life in your own hands, molding the earth into clay, shaping life in our own way, speaking volumes without having to say a thing. It's the song in your heart meant just for you to sing. The anticipation for the next verse and the breaths you take in between. It's the hour-long conversations that aren't really about anything, and yet they are everything. The point is found in everything. The glue that holds together dreams holds us together when it seems that all is lost. The point still gleams and glitters unrelentingly. It's neighborhood kids playing till dark with smiles brightly beaming. It's all in what you see and hear and all in which you're feeling. No need for island breeze, coconut trees, or seas hypnotically blue. It's the context of everything in which you live and all that came before you. Even when finished lines and finished lines and happily ever after sells. The truth is, what's the point is a question that begs itself.
My favorite part about Black Umich, I think, is the reciprocity. The reciprocal character of Black Umich is just very prominent in my experience. I look at it as an ecosystem, right? In any ecosystem, like we learn in science, like every kind of like species or whatever is reliant on each other. And so, you know, when I think of the concept of reciprocity in this instance, right, you know, to be a part of the kind of ushering in of this new era of Black arts and Black Umich was something that I was able to offer. And also Black Umich gave me so much respect, love, places to find community, feel respected, and, you know, be able to talk about things that I'm not in other places on campus, alongside also being able to expose me to resources that are specific to our people and our culture that I wasn't getting outside of this space. And so just being able to know that I had a community to be able to come to offer what I could offer, and to be able to humbly receive what the other beautiful minds in this community had to offer is something that I will always cherish.
I think I like the fact that we're small. Now, even though that is a downfall, and yes, it need to be more of us, but I like the fact that we're very close-knit, and, you know, most of everybody know each other. You know, I could walk up to Trotter and I could start talking to anybody. It's very community-oriented. Strike up a conversation with anybody.
I feel like Trotter is one of my favorite parts. Like, I be like going throughout the day and I'm like, where are the Black people at? And then I just walk in a Trotter, and then after an hour I be forgetting that I'm at a PWI. I like to call Trotter this just can't be. Yes. I like to call Trotter like my mini HBCU. Like, I feel like I walk in here and somebody's playing spades. Brian's playing spades. I'm playing spades. Everybody. Amani's playing spades. I feel like everybody's just doing their own thing. Like, there's music, we're talking, and I just feel like Trotter is where I get my sense of community from, and I really need that because it'd be hard sometimes.
I always describe Trotter, in my opinion, like it feels like my grandma's house. Like, I get to like come here and see all my cousins and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, it's like a home away from home.
Oh, I love that.
I'm loving it. Like, it's really nice. I love being in the Black space. It reminds me of like cookouts that I would have with my family.
I think it's been amazing. I've felt so like supported, and like I've met so many cool, amazing women mainly. A lot of cool dudes too, obviously. Just like so cool. I think it's amazing that we put so much time and money into the Black like population, at least from what I'm seeing. I'm new, so I don't know everything yet. But from what I'm feeling for the past couple of days, I've been feeling very supported by the people and the school, I guess.
We're actually having a good time because we're from North Campus. Like, we live in Bursley, so we came out here and we were like, we're actually so excited to come to this event because we're like, oh my God, Black people. because we went to like a white frat party and it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as our Chicago parties. So I don't know. I think maybe here, somewhere like this, somewhere we can find our community and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. We met a lot of black people on North Campus. Like there was this event, and then like we all came out. We were like, "Where do you live?" Bursley, Bates, and we're like, "Oh, they segregated us." But yeah, so I'm excited to meet more black people in a place where it's hot and it doesn't smell like woods.
They just bad they couldn't taste the start.
Oh, shit. Right, say that one more time. Run that back.
Beef are already finished. They just mad they couldn't taste the start.
What does Black Umich mean to you?
Welcoming. Community.
Collaborative.
Comforting.
Brave. Inspiring.
Empowering.
Creativity, innovation, trend-setting.
Progressive.
I would say community, like family.
I think of family and like joy.
Fun.
Homey.
Home. It means home. Yeah.
The sparkling light of the late afternoon sun filters through the long windows of the William Monroe Trotter building onto bent necks and disheveled papers like a lover gently grazing their partner of 20 years, and I am a week behind on my computer science homework. Cars bustle outside. Stories that I will never be a part of are written outside these walls with words from within them. The white man with the life-size cross on wheels and unmoisturized hair is arguing with the men holding out Qurans, but I cannot hear them. My ears are filled with Spade's arguments and laughs, with Lauren and Erica and Kendrick and Thames with a group of 10 trying to figure out electronegativity, luxury. From the Latin luxus, excess, extravagance, magnificence. From the old French luxury, dissoluteness, self-indulgence, debauchery, dissoluteness, lust. Who could rest their eyes on hair crashing down onto golden faces like the first rain of spring, onto butterfly locks and box braids, onto golden hoops and nose rings of every shape and color, onto skin made of the first rays of the mighty morning suns, and not be richer than the seas themselves, who have swallowed up gold and wood and steel and bone into dark depths since time immemorial. No, we are luxury. We are power, we are mighty, we are light. We are the first, we are the last, we are the dream makers and buzzer beaters, we are the original skaters and three-peaters, we are chemists, biologists, poets, we are the bane of French basketball, and come to think of it, we won the Olympics. And oh, to be young, gifted, and black. This is luxury.